Up next, you're going to meet an interior designer who helps people get the look of luxury without breaking the bank. Hello, I'm Shannon Skinner, and this is Extraordinary Women TV. Well, my guest today is Melissa Davis. She's an interior designer and partner of Catherine and Davis, a Toronto-based interior design company. Now, you'll meet her in a moment. Later in the interview, I'll have my regular Good to Know Minute when I ask my guests for their top success tip. And you'll hear Melissa's. Well, hello, Melissa.
Hi, Shannon. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so nice having you here. You look so beautiful in that vibrant blue.
Oh, thank you. It's so gloomy outside. I'm just trying to punch it up a little bit.
You must be very, as an interior designer, then you must be really sensitive to color around you.
I mean, I am and I'm not. For fashion, I think fashion clothing-wise is so easily changed. So not so much. I think you can have fun with it. In interiors, it's a different story, though.
So let's talk about what an interior designer actually does. Because I'm sure there's more to it than what many people would know or understand.
Yeah, and especially now there's such a cross-section because there's stylists, decorators, designers, architects. Interior designers, how we function as a designer is we do the full facet of design. So that's from space planning, permitting, renovations, additions, straight through to all the finished selections, furniture, and decorating. So we do start to finish, and that's, for us, it's really important because we're able to have an overall vision and carry it through to the end.
When you walk into your friends' homes or people's homes and you're actually not doing work for them, but you're there to socialize, do people get really self-conscious when you walk in and think, oh my God, don't look at my walls, don't look at my furniture?
They do. It's such a funny thing. They do all the time. And I can say, honestly, I don't look at people's homes. I don't go in and judge. I might see little things, but homes are so personal. And unless I'm asked for my advice, I honestly, I don't think that the flaws are flaws because it's personal. And I really encourage them to, live the way they want to live. And if they want a little advice, no problem.
You began with very, very humble beginnings. You grew up on a farm.
I did.
How did that influence you?
So much so, actually. Yeah. I grew up in a small working class family in a small town. And I spent a lot of time as a child going to auctions and estate sales with my father. He worked with the auctioneers, and I would be sort of the Vanna White holding the product to sell. So I was exposed to beautiful things, but from a very blue-collar perspective. So for my family, it was a way of making money. My father would see the value in something, purchase it, and then we'd use it. And so our home was filled with antiques, and then we'd resell it for a profit. So I didn't realize then, but I was really absorbing all of these sort of tips for what to look for, how to save money, but how to get that luxury look without spending any money.
How do you work with people to get that look of luxury with when they have a very limited budget?
Well, it's really going into it with the mindset that you will get that end product that you want. So many people are very defeatist about their homes or just anything in life. They know their limitations and they allow that to hold them back. And I've never been one to sort of have that way of thinking, or I wouldn't have achieved any success. But basically, it's like have that goal, pull that magazine tear, really go into it with that ultimate, this is what I want, and then work towards it. So there are so many different resources, whether it's antique markets or like Aberfoyle, which is close to Toronto, has a really great place you can go and get used goods, reclaimed goods, antiques. And really the whole point is it might take a little more work. This is true with anything in life. It might take a little more work, but it's always achievable. So it's just being smart and doing more legwork. Don't go to the boutique shop that has the marble that you like, but go there and look at it, know what you like, and then shop around. Take an extra month and really look for what you want, but on your budget.
Now, of course, viewers might also know you from working on income property.
That's right.
So let's talk about the show.
That's right. So I'm one of the designers for HGTV's Income Property. And it's funny, like knowing my background, now viewers will probably understand why it's a good fit for me, because the show is about putting income suites into people's homes that need the money. They need that extra income. So of course the budgets are very tight, but the expectation is to create the very best possible design we can so that they'll garner the biggest rental income. So I use all of my background and all of my design skills on that. And it's really rewarding. We help a lot of people, and the turnaround's very quick, so I get to do a lot of design and frequently see the outcome.
Where do you get your creative ideas from? I mean, where do you go to different places to get that inspiration?
I mean, everywhere, everywhere, nowhere at the same time. I think it's true with any creative discipline. It's like I might get inspired by nature, the colors I see on the streets, traveling, of course. Europe is a huge influence for design because they're not so conservative as we are here in Canada, so that helps push the limits. But you know, in interiors, it's a lot about fashion. So what you see on the runways, if we're doing something that's more stylized or decorated, we look to the runways, the fashion runways, and that's where we pull colors and prints and textures from.
Now, why do you think that Canadians are so conservative with our taste and style?
I mean, maybe it's because we started by looking to the Queen for our influence, the most conservative of all ladies. But I also think we're still a young country, and everything we do as Canadians is sort of that we tread lightly to make sure we're making a good choice, and that radiates through every aspect of who we are and how we live our lives.
And do you have a partner?
I do. Mm-hmm. Helena Catherine is my partner, and her background is actually very high-end design, which is interesting.
Oh, so you're in complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
We are, which is why it's such a great team, because she pushes us. She has the end vision. We always want the same end vision, but our perspective on how to get there is very different. She's if you want marble, go and buy marble. I'm well, if we want marble, like, how do we get it without just paying that, you know?
So let's talk about some of the projects that you've done then for some of your clients. I mean, I've looked at your website, and the photos are just amazing, but tell us about some of your favorite projects that you've done.
You know, I'm a real sucker for those downtown Victorian renovations. I love that you have this like seemingly small space and blowing them wide open and achieving like what the homeowner wants, which is this big, bright, open space. So there's a project on Crawford that we did with a contractor we use all the time, Matthew Creelman, and we took the shell of the house, stripped out everything from in the inside, and rebuilt it from scratch, but kept the brick Victorian facade and sort of modernized the whole thing. And it was just a spectacular example of what you can get with a small traditional home in the end.
Why do you love what you do? What is it about it that
well,
really...
You know, I'm not a left or a right brainer. I'm both. I love math and structure and organization, and I love creative process and the fluidity. And there's very few careers where you can really bridge the two. And a lot of what we do as designers and business owners, the business itself is a creative process, figuring out how to structure it, how to grow it. And it's a constant challenge, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. I love it.
So when somebody, when you've just designed a client's interior of their home, and they walk in and they see it for the first time, what does that do for you and your own spirit?
Oh, it's one of the most rewarding parts of the process. During the design process, we get to know those clients so incredibly intimately. Really, we know what side of the bed they sleep on. We know who makes the toast in the morning and where they like to keep the toast. So to go through that, it's almost like this marriage. And then to see them, all of those sort of dreams and wishes that they really never imagined they could have all together in one home, to see that achieved, I can't tell you what it does for Helena and I. We love it. And it keeps us, it's what energizes us and pushes us to work harder and to get them all of those wishes on the budget.
Now, Melissa, we're just going to take a quick break. It means it's my good to know minute, and I know you've got a great success tip.
I do. So now more than ever, we live in this age of entitlement. I see it all the time. We all want everything. We want it immediately. It's important now more than ever to remember that we're not the best at what we do, but we possess the capabilities to be the best. So it's that bridge between humility and confidence in our own abilities.
Well, that's good to know, and thanks for that. Oh, Melissa, it was so nice having you here on the show. I've learned so much more about the world of an interior designer, and I love your work. So I wish you all the best in all that you do.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, and of course, if people want more information about you and your business, where do they go on the web?
Our website, so it's hcmddesign.com.
Perfect. So thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you.
Well, I've been speaking with Melissa Davis. She's an interior designer here based in Toronto. Well, of course, if you are interested in watching any of our past episodes and past guests, I'd encourage you to visit the website at extraordinarywomentv.com. There you'll find out more about the show, about me, and you can contact me through the website. And do follow me on Twitter. Regular updates on Twitter. Well, if you are interested in transforming your life, I hope these stories have inspired you. You've been watching Extraordinary Women TV. I'm Shannon Skinner. See you soon.